Hi everyone, it's Shelley Gentry here at Sell State Excelsior Realty, and today I have a special guest with me, Scott Di Gregorio. Did I pronounce that right?
You did, which I think is a pretty big accomplishment.
Okay, wonderful. I'm so glad I got that correct. So I know a lot of you, I've been talking with you at the farmers market, and the one question I get, or the one topic we talk about all the time is, Shelley, I don't want to buy a house right now. Interest rates are too high. Shelley, I don't know if I'm ready to sell my house. So Scott is a really great numbers guy. He lets us kind of know what's going on in the market. And Scott, would you tell us who you're with, what you do, and then let's answer some of those questions that everybody is wanting to know about.
Absolutely, Shelley. Thank you. So my name is Scott Di Gregorio. I'm the branch manager with Neo Home Loans. I've been a mortgage banker for about 25 years now. And look, this is the question that everybody's asking. And there's so much misinformation about this, Shelley, that is kind of drives me crazy at times. So one of the biggest things is that as the Federal Reserve has been raising rates, mortgage rates have actually been coming down. Okay, and because the thing that's impacting mortgage rates right now is inflation, and when the Federal Reserve raises rates, they're fighting inflation, which is good for mortgages. So mortgages are anywhere from 1% to 2% lower today than they were just a couple of months ago. And I actually had a meeting with my team yesterday, and based on what happened to mortgage rates just in the last week, a person will be able to purchase about $58,000 more house without moving their payment a dollar.
Wow.
So that's the first misconception that the media is just presenting incorrectly. The other thing that people have to understand, and you could go out and search this. So CNBC issued an article on August 29th where Fannie Mae predicted that mortgage rates will be 4.5% by the end of 2023. So I think when we're looking at a home buying strategy, we have to look at this as kind of a two-part process. Number one, let's get the house. And then number two, let's refi down to a long-term comfortable payment for people. So those are two big things regarding the interest rate piece of it that I think people need to understand.
Okay, so if somebody wants to buy their house now, I know we talked about in our last meeting together that they can do a buy down rate. So let's talk a little bit about that, because if interest rates go lower at the end of the year, that may create a little more chaos in our housing market. So you may want to consider buying now, and Scott's going to talk about buying down that interest rate.
Yeah, and look, you bring up such a good point, right? The people that say, look, I want to wait for the market to drop. It's interesting. I was having this conversation with somebody. I said, let me ask you, what was the housing market like when rates were in the fours? They went, oh, it was crazy. I said, now the critical thing to think about is that's when rates were in the fours, when we were coming out of rates being in the twos and threes. I asked them, what do you think the housing market's going to be like when rates are in the fours and we're coming out of sevens and eights? Mm-hmm. And the answer is obviously hotter. How much hotter, nobody knows, but certainly hotter. And the buy down strategy that you referenced, I really think is the solution. And look, a person can pay points, which is 1 point is 1% of the loan amount. So a person can pay points to permanently buy down their mortgage rate. The strategy we're using in this market very successfully is asking the seller to contribute some closing cost money, using those funds to pay points. And there was an example I did recently where interest rates were about 6.5%. They've come lower since then, but they were 6.5% for this scenario. We were able to get the seller to pay some points. I was able to get them locked in at a 5% 30-year fixed rate mortgage, with the thought of potentially being able to refi them even lower a year from now. So that seller buy down strategy is a really impactful thing. One, from a affordability standpoint, because with that drop in interest rate, how much they qualify for now has gone up. So if you're thinking about, maybe you're a first-time home buyer and you think about buying a home and you're thinking, man, I don't qualify for enough to actually buy a home in this market, this is a perfect solution for that. I call it an affordability enhancer. So that is a strategy that is really, really effective in today's market.
Oh, that is so awesome. So that is definitely something I want you to consider. If you want to talk to Scott more about that, Scott, will you give him how they can contact you?
Absolutely. You can just give me a call or a text on my cell phone. That number is 239-910-6040.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you're looking to buy a home, you can give me a call, Shelley Gentry, 941-363-1209. We'll have some more tips and tricks for you on our next session together.
Thank you, Shelley.